Okay, everybody, I want to talk for just a minute about Tartuffe and some of the ideas of the Enlightenment. If you look at the study guide that I have posted, you'll see that the Enlightenment had a tendency to throw emotion out. And one of the things that Molière does in this is that he shows us how extreme emotion can get. When Damis flies off the handle, he just creates problems for himself and for everyone else. And the same with Orgon. Another thing that he is showing us is the change in social structure. Prior to the Enlightenment, everything was kind of like this. Okay, you had God and the king at the top, and then you had the nobles, and then you had the middle class, and then at the bottom you had the servants, and of course women didn't fit in anywhere there. You had in the family unit, you still had that structure. Here at the top is the father, then the sons, then the mother, and then the daughters, and the women did what the men told them to do. If you had a male servant, he was pretty much on an equal footing with the mother, perhaps even in some instances a little above. He still took orders, but he was charged with her safety, and he was able to override her in many cases. So then you have the Enlightenment that comes along, and all of a sudden you have people that are questioning authority, and we go from having that to having that. Okay, so you have that question of authority, that no longer are the king and God at the top. People can actually move up and change where they are, and that extended over to the family as well. You had Orgon, who was the ultimate law in the family, and then all of a sudden he was shown to be a fool, and that woman who was on the bottom, or close to the bottom, the mother, is shown to be much, much smarter, and smarter than all of them is Doreen, who is on the bottom as a servant, as a female servant, no less. And so you see that kind of topsy-turviness, and we start seeing the Enlightenment change not only at the public level, but also at the private level. We see that some of the characters are bridges. If you look at Cleante, he is the voice of reason, and he embodies what the Enlightenment is all about. No emotion, everything is rational. He's very regulated. And then we have Orgon and Madame Parnell, who are both pre-Enlightenment, and neither one of them will question what authority is. The pious man, this man, he's not a clergyman. They had to take that out. But he is a layman who is also a hypocrite, and he completely snows them. At the very end, you can see where Orgon begins to move over to the Enlightenment ideas. But Madame Parnell still has to be totally convinced. She is the old. So you have Orgon being kind of a bridge here. Doreen is the embodiment of Enlightenment ideas. She's a lady's maid, but she is actually almost a member of the family. She's almost equal with the other members of the family. So you can see that change there. And all of the female characters in here are very bright, with the exception of poor little Marianne, who just is in love. But you have all of these female characters who are very, very bright. And the Enlightenment ushered in an era of women's knowledge, that they were actually becoming more educated, that they were actually hosting these wonderful salons in Paris and all across in London, and they would have the greatest, the brightest minds of all come in to actually share ideas, share their writings, share political ideas, to share mathematical ideas and scientific discoveries and ideas. So it was a really, really wonderful time for knowledge to take hold at this age of reason. So I hope this kind of helps you stay on track a little bit.